I play with you. I play with you. I play with you, bro. I play with you.
Yo.
Let Facebook know. Let Facebook know. What happened now? You sex all these bitches, right? You sex all these bitches, right?
Yo.
You sex all these bitches, right?
Chill.
Let Facebook know.
Stop playing.
You sex all these bitches, right?
Stop playing.
That didn't pop up, right? I'm
Stop
pussy,
playing.
right?
Chill.
I'm pussy, right?
Chill.
Let Facebook know. Tune in.
Oh.
Tune in. Yeah. Tune in. That nigga's not. Why you keep playing with me? Huh? Why you keep playing with me? I look dumb? Do you look stupid? Fuck out of here. Nah, bro. Deadass, bro. He's playing with my mug. Wanna text his exes. Have his ex so crazy to me. Have bitches that want to fight me. You wanna phone with them? Now I'm pregnant fighting bitches? Bro.
Yo, chill.
Why you keep playing with me, bro? Why? Like I'm not crazy. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Fuck out of here. You wanna play with my body, right? Yeah, cry, get mad.
No.
Get mad.
Move.
Get mad. Or what?
Move.
Or what?
Move.
Or what?
Move.
Or what?
Move.
Or what? Or what?
Move.
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 Or what?
There is no
Or what?
Move.
Fuck out of here. Everybody wanna keep playing with me, bro, right? It's a game, right? It's a game, right?
Yo, y'all know what it is, man. Onyx Report, Black Masculinist news for the day. Hope you're well. Thought we would examine this piece for a quick second. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Y'all know what it is. Here's the thing. Before we go through the traditional routes of blaming him for picking her, not being alpha enough to dominate her, whatever look, here's the thing. What you just saw, there was a number of things involved, and I'm only going to touch on the surface. But for one thing, what you saw was illegal. This is intimate partner violence. And in the Black community, this is bidirectional, meaning that statistically speaking, it's almost equal violence coming from women to men as is men to women. And most of the time, they're both occurring. Now, in terms of much of the data we're familiar with, points out that women often initiate first. They tend to use weapons more often, as you saw her using. And they initiate the violence first. Now, from what I understand, in this particular video, she's pregnant. And part of his reticence about responding or even defending himself has everything to do with a couple of levels of chivalry, right? She's a woman on one end, he's on camera, and she's pregnant. He made no effort to get out, leave, whatever. Here's the thing. Although many of the laws that have been written about this are, they're definitely written in, with feminists in mind, they are written in gender neutral language. And what I think men are going to need to start doing is becoming far more litigious, taking people to court, filing charges, and proffering evidence of abuse. The data is actually in your corner. It's just not popularly known or believed. And I've even had academics tell me that it's not possible for women to abuse men, that it's a rare, isolated occurrence when it does, if it ever does, these kind of things. But actually, that's obviously not the case. And the thing about it is we're seeing more and more of it. Or are we? Is it a matter of we have access to small cameras that can go and, post what we recorded all across the world, and we didn't have access to that a few years ago? Is it a matter of that? Are we seeing more of it because it can be recorded? I don't know. Might be a mixture of factors. I'm one to believe that this will increase and likely has increased in response to the pandemic, the economy that we're living in. And as we're heading toward the end of the rent moratoriums, and we're heading toward, we've been seeing rampant unemployment. A lot of the jobs that are becoming available are lower tier compared to what many people may have had prior. Still have the decimation of the childcare industry. A lot of women still not able to go back to work, even if they are able to find jobs. a lot of pressure, a lot of intensity, a lot of frustration. I think some of this is more on the horizon. But here's the thing. I want men to actually start taking this serious and filing. Record. Call the police. Deal with it. Because at the end of the day, we have to be able to produce a reality that deters this. Seem to work on men. Got 3 generations deep of men who are afraid to even defend themselves against women because they know, especially black men, they're more likely to be the ones going to jail, even in self-defense. I mean, what some of the studies have shown is that men respond more so, or men tend to engage in physicality with women with their hands. Women tend to use weapons more often, but there's more visible damage when it comes from men. Does that make the abuse less relevant? What happens if she poisons your food or attacks you while you're asleep? What then? Pulls a gun or a knife, uses it when your back is turned or where you're not expecting it. Does it count then? So she's hitting him with a belt and spanking him like a child. He's not responding other than asking her to stop. And you have plenty of people, of course, as you can see, as you saw in there, that were laughing the entire time. Some of you may even have been laughing. Didn't find none of this shit funny. Because at the end of the day, I know how many black men understand they are between a rock and a hard place. If they respond, their whole lives can change. If they don't respond, it continues. And you're stuck dealing with this person, especially if you got her pregnant. But anyway, all I'm saying here is that we have a really interesting one-way sense of vulnerability when it comes to intimate partner violence. One way. I mean, think about it. If this was a man beating his wife with a belt because he caught her cheating, would it be acceptable then? Would it still be funny then? Well, maybe to some people watching this, but for the most part in mainstream culture, it wouldn't even be tolerable. You couldn't even get this video online. He would be in jail so fast it would be ridiculous. But somehow when it's reversed, it's acceptable. But then again, this is just a rare thing, right? This just happens in some corner of the hood, right? No. This kind of thing happens with white collar women driving Benzes. I mean, one of the videos I wanted to show, just to drive that point home, that this, you can find this across class. They took down off of Instagram. I had it on my Facebook page. It was a gentleman who was standing in the street with his phone, and he was recording the damage that his ex or his girl had done to his car. He went around the back side of the car. The car was, of course, parked, and he was showing the damage she did to the back. And then you just see him step out of the way, and you see a black Mercedes crash into the back of his car right where he was standing. She's in the car, and he just says very calmly, "She just tried to kill me with the car." She drove off. She came back, had something in her hand. He had gone in the house, and he's recording her from the window, and she's trying to get into the house. Then she goes back out and damages his car some more. I tried to record it, but my Snagit has been acting up, so I couldn't download it. And of course, by the time I got ready to do this video, they took it down. I hope somebody got it. If you did, put a link to it in the comment section, because I think people need to see it. And this is one of the things where I even get women responding to me by writing in the comment section, even on whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or here on YouTube. And they'll say, I used to think you guys were full of it, especially you in black male studies, and you guys are talking about abuse. And I was like, I've never seen women act that way. Women don't act that way. But watching these videos, I have women that come to my pages and don't say anything. They just come to my pages on a regular occurring basis just to see. And I post religiously on teachers violating students, especially female teachers. I don't have to report on male teachers. That's common. Common in the sense that it's easily reported, not in terms of how often it happens. but common in the sense that people have no problem reporting that. But somehow when women are violators and aggressors, it kind of falls to the wayside. It's kind of swept under the rug. So they're always surprised to see how many women across race are caught violating boys or abusing husbands and boyfriends. And I post it just to remind people, this ain't a one-way street. And this is actually far more frequent than you think. It's not regarded. So you've heard of the phrase seeing is believing. Well, we tend to live by believing is seeing. And if we don't believe something happens, even when it occurs, we don't see it. So I just put it in your face and I tell you this is what's occurring. And hopefully more people will see it. Because the double-edged sword about abuse as it pertains to men being on the victim end of it is nobody believes you. Now, we talk about that trope with women for years. Oh, nobody would believe female victims. Yeah, okay. You walk into a police department with a blown up black eye and you say your husband did it, but nobody believes you. Well, try that when you're the husband with a black eye and you come into the police station and you say your wife hit you with a bat. But at the very least, if you got evidence, video evidence at that, we need to become more litigious. People need to go to court. People need to be filed on. This type of abuse needs to be far more frequent. Now, they tend to sentence women 65% less for the same crimes as men. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they simply don't have the prisons. They've never built them for women. And am I arguing that women should go to prison in more numbers? Not necessarily. But I am saying there needs to be real world consequences for this type of behavior, because too many women have gotten real comfortable with the one-way treatment as far as intimate partner violence. Most of society doesn't even believe men can be harmed, and most tend to believe that women are inherently the victims in any dynamic. You look at this and you tell me. So I would ask that whether you are in this situation or know somebody in this situation, urge them or do it yourself to record and file. And as far as if you're a young man and you're living with a woman, you're experiencing this, get on your own 2 feet as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Have your own space, have your own everything you need. Do not rely on somebody who's especially in a position to abuse you and you have nowhere to go. All right. So anyway, hope you guys are well. Take it easy.